tell the young guys who've never been to the Kohl Center about the challenges of facing a Wisconsin team in that venue?
I think it's just Wisconsin in general. Road games are always hard to come by. I think it's a little more difficult to execute in an environment like that. So, but I've only beat Wisconsin like one time, so it's difficult to beat them. They don't beat themselves. They're very disciplined, and you have to really be disciplined all game long. You can't make costly mistakes.
Brendan?
This game could potentially, by the numbers, be pretty low possession game, things like that. Not a lot of second chance opportunities. From what you've seen on film, what can you guys do between you and John and to maybe find some offensive rebounds against their players?
They have a unique way of just playing where they kind of they make it really hard for your shooters to get open and just make whoever's coming off the ball screen and the big guys kind of just beat you. So it's going to be on us to finish when those opportunities are presented to us and like you said, try to get those extra possessions because those are going to be big because I think they're first in the league in three-point field goal defensive field goal percentage. So it's going to be difficult to get some of the shots we might normally get just because they don't help as much. It puts a little bit more pressure on those people involved in the ball screen.
Daniel? You mentioned as a senior you've only beaten them once, and there's been some tough losses last year in the Big Ten tournament, 2 buzzer beaters. How much of a sense of revenge is there with you?
I try not to think about it like that. We've had some tough games. It just speaks to the level of competition that every single game we've had with them. It's always a battle. Even when you're at your best, it's going to be a fight down to the very end. Like you said, 2 buzzer beaters. Even when we won here, it was a competition. So it's going to be a fight, and it's going to be a tough game, and we just got to be mentally prepared for a game that might go pretty slowly.
Joe?
You and John both have really been running a lot of pick and roll with Nick. Does it feel a little familiar? Are you getting sort of some of the similar looks that you see with Darius, given that Nick is closer to his height, really, than the height of
to be honest, I think it's still a little bit different. I think Darius is really good at some of those hook passes, and he was really when he was coming off ball screens, he was really bent on getting downhill, getting to that rim. He was hard to stop doing that. So I think one of the things that Nick benefits from is kind of learning some of the passes that Trey had to make over the past few years, being a smaller guard. Some of those late bounce passes and things like that. Our coach has done a really good job of trying to figure out how to take advantage of those role situations because if we don't take advantage of that, guys are just going to stop helping, and it's going to be really hard for everybody else to kind of play off that action.
Right.
Even though you guys are 4-0 in the league, still lacking a marquee win kind of on the overall schedule.
Yeah.
You feel like you really still have something to prove of being that upper echelon?
I think, as much as I'd like to put a lot of weight on this game, I think every game for us is just big. We want to, obviously we want to win championships. Right now our next opportunity is winning the Big Ten regular season championship. So that's game by game, especially with a young team like this. We can't take any game more seriously than any other game. And from my experience in this league, it doesn't matter how good you are, you can't do that. My best example was last year. We lost to Penn State at Penn State. They didn't have a win. So I think it's just every single game is a championship for us, and that's how we approach this Big Ten season.
Rob?
Is it anything about the Kohl Center itself, or is it the crowd, or is it just one of those things?
It's just a really great environment. I wouldn't say it's any more difficult than any other road environment. I just think Wisconsin, you combine a road environment with a team like Wisconsin that's so disciplined and really just does not beat themselves. It makes it hard. It's going to make it very difficult to get a win anywhere. But you combine that with being on the road when those mistakes are more likely to happen. That makes it hard to beat in their own place.
Do you do anything special to kind of mimic what you get there?
I think every road game, actually every practice, just about we used to simulate crowd noise and stuff like that in practice. On defense, offense, just trying to communicate. simulate the level